I just that didn't happen. When Nicola came into my life, I felt that she was the one who could put my pieces together, and she did.
बड़े होकर क्या बनना चाहते हैं?
मैं एक astronaut और एक pilot.
When it's a question of women expressing their sexuality, it's always been a double-edged sword.
So these are desires. ये माया है, ये illusion है. ये माया है, ये illusion है. और सीता स्वयंवर की बात करती है. तो मैं एक मोमेंट पे राम हो जाऊंगी, एक मोमेंट पे सीता हो जाऊंगी.
तो ambitions में बाद में यही हो गए कि चंद्रनाथ से शादी हो.
तो फिर कॉफी शॉप पे क्या हो?
गोरिया मारो ना नगरिया हो जियरा लहर दो जाए. लगन तो मुझसे लगा बैठे, जो होगा देखा जाएगा.
यानी समाज के सब क्षेत्रों में कुछ ना कुछ गिरावट हो रही है. अकेला पत्रकार अच्छा कैसे रह सकता है?
कई बार कपल्स को खाली थोड़ा सेपरेशन की जरूरत होती है थोड़े समय के लिए. So everything doesn't need to be like this or that.
Hey guys, this is Maya, a poet, writer, motivational speaker, and a video creator. During this lockdown, our life seems to have been invaded by this tinny-winny virus, and it has been brought to a sad standstill. It feels like somebody has pressed the pause button of our lives, and it's not going anywhere any further. So that is why this monotony, this anxiety, this negativity is looming large on our mental horizon. And this is where I thought of initiating a journey titled Communique on my YouTube channel Midnight Latte, where I have been picking up the gems from the various walks of life and introducing them to my audience to keep them motivated in dull and gray shade times like those. So before we get on with this interview and the gem that I want to introduce you to all, here is a little piece of poetry dedicated to this special guest of mine. I welcome Garima Avtar on the screen.
Thank you.
Kindly
Thank you
join
very
us.
much. Hi, Maya. Thank you so much for having me over today. Such a pleasure.
I'm delighted to have you here. Since Garima and me have been introduced just a couple of days back through a mutual friend of ours, and we have been celebrating this friendship here on the screen with all of you. And the more I have been knowing her, the more happier a friend I am. And Garima likes my poetry, so here I go. And she says it shouldn't come as a shock, it should come as a surprise. As I said, it would be a surprise for her. And nothing better than the gift of words can I dedicate to her. Shall we?
Absolutely looking forward. Wonderful.
So it, vroom, vroom, vroom. There goes the girl. A mere slip of a girl, say many. But wait, she would have no dolls if she wants not any. Let her delicate frame and soft demeanor not beguile. She is tough, she is bold, she is real agile. Ask her what's success. She'll tell it's a never-ending rally without a finish line, where we all are chasing the horizon, and the horizon stretching itself a little farther with every mile we cover. Ask her what she has for the world to behold. She will shed one layer at a time until you see that purest ray of gold. Don't tell her how to carve a niche, how to go, for she will go her way, her pace, her space, and yet leave a trace. So in the Communique series of interviews, I welcome Garima Avtar, a committed mom, a dedicated Garima.
This is so wonderful. Oh my God. It is like so wonderfully written, Maya. You're so special, seriously, and so talented. Thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful poetry and these wonderful words. I'm really heartfelt and very warm and loving person you are. So I'm so glad we got connected.
I hope it didn't come as a shock.
Not at all. Thank you so much.
So in the Communique series of interviews, I welcome Garima Avtar. She's a committed mom, a dedicated corporate vice president at Delton Cables Limited. She is widely known for being a woman extraordinaire. Garima, adorned with this beautiful smile of hers that keeps playing on her lips all the time, enriching her beauty. She is one of the top rally racing drivers in the country. Can you believe that, guys? Garima is a trailblazer. She is simply unstoppable. Welcome, Garima. I'm so pleased to have you here as the guest of the day.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here with you and all these magical words to hear from you. You're a wonderful person. Now I can see, words actually can make so much a difference. With emotions, they can generate all kinds of emotions. Good, nice words and sharp words. So they are so magical actually. Words.
Thank you so much. So here's my first question, Garima. You must
Sure.
have learned quite at an early age driving. Was someone in your family a racing driver or an enthusiast who instilled this love for driving, this passion for driving in you? Or was it some external figure that you looked up to?
So I come from a very, I come from a small town, Orthodox family, and traditional family. And my father has been a great influence in my life. So right from encouraging me to participate in all outdoor sports, um, you know, encouraging me to be as strong and brave and to outgoing and to be myself, learn to be as natural as possible. He taught me, besides this greatest gift that he gave me of driving. He's the one who taught me driving actually. He has influenced my life in many ways. So that spiritual angle, that my singing, and I have my entire personality today. What I am is, I give credit to mostly my dad, my mom also definitely. And my mom is, but I think वो जो dad, if daughter और dad का जो एक bond होता है special. So I think he's no more, but wherever he is today, I'm sure he must be feeling proud of me, I'm sure.
I think you have a very strong feeling about that.
Yes. I remember, see, I got married when I was very young. I was just 18 years old when I got married. But I have such, like you have picture memories and all. So I have those amazing, beautiful picture memories of my dad. And he used to read a lot of philosophical stuff, a lot of spiritual stuff. He used to meditate a lot. I would sit with him. And, from a very young age, he has inculcated some really deep, important values. Like I still remember, I must have finished my 9th grade examination or some examination. I think I was very young. And I was a very bright student, so I would always do well in my studies. I was the house captain, and I remember I was sitting at the edge of the bed, and we just finished the exams, and my dad was passing by, And I looked at him. I said, Dad, I'm feeling very bored. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't feel like going just now and to any of my friends. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So he looked at me for a few seconds and then he said, bored does not exist in my dictionary. He said, if you cannot learn to be happy with your own self, with your own company, you will not find happiness elsewhere. I mean, can you imagine a ninth class kid, such a deep statement, and it has stayed with me even today. I think about it. It's so important. Self, love, self, to have good, to keep on learning. He would, I still, another thing I remember, he would say, ki, uh, always be like a flowing river, never become stagnant water that starts smelling. So always keep on learning, keep on evolving, and becoming a better person. So I have learned so much from my dad. Also, mom. There are a lot of things that I've learned from my mom, but I'll keep on speaking. Otherwise, I mean, it's become like a monologue if I just keep on talking about that. There's so much. I'm really grateful for what my parents have. They have given to me in values with regards to various aspects. I'm really grateful to both of them.
Yeah, there is a wonderful bonding between every father and dad. And if you go on playing on the same harp, nobody can find fault with that.
Totally.
Were you able to understand the meaning of that profound thought that he gave you, that if you're not happy with yourself, you can't be happy anywhere else?
Totally, absolutely. You have to enjoy your own company. You have to learn to, that's how when we say you introspect and, you sit and meditate. Meditating is spending time with yourself. Kind of, you go inwards. So that's so important. I mean, it's not that we should start meditating when, after a certain age or something. I think, in any time and age, it has so many benefits. I mean, just sitting with yourself, sit with the eyes closed and just introspect. And
I think just having that feel, or being able to feel that oneness with the universe,
yeah,
and that sync that you have with your internal self, that is what I call meditation.
right. Totally.
So, how did this exhilarating journey begin as a rally racer? I mean, when did you realize, and what was the point of life when you realized that this was your call?
Nothing was planned, Maya. At the time when my dad taught me how to drive a car, I mean, he couldn't have imagined, I couldn't have imagined motorsports, dur tak, anything. We had never even heard of that. I don't think so as a kid, I had ever watched Formula racing or any kind of racing. So there was no exposure at all to motorsports. It's only when much later in life, much later in life. In fact, he wasn't even, there at that time. He passed. He was. So it's just by chance that I saw some rally happening, and I thought I'd just go there as fun. It's going to be some nice drive. I enjoyed I like the concept of you go there and drive and go there, and there's going to be some challenge and all, and some competition. So I thought, why not? Let's try. So I just went with a friend, and it actually went really well. We were very sincere about our job, our calculations, because it was a time, speed, distance format rally. So calculations of the role of the navigator is also important. So we had a good synergy, myself and my navigator, and we ended up coming first runner-up or something, the second runner-up, sorry. So,
Wow.
first rally, and we ended up having a podium finish. So it was quite motivating, and I quite enjoyed the whole drive. That was that was the only rally my friend did. But she just came for fun. She's a working woman.
Mhm.
And she has not done any other rally after that. But I
Okay.
somehow kind of the rally bug bit me, and I have not stopped rallying after that. Yeah, yeah. So
That's amazing. This is how we say life is unpredictable, you know. You go for things that you might never have imagined. And the
yeah.
things that you keep weaving dreams about, you just let them go at times because you don't feel like chasing them anymore. So this is life. It is like that. So did you have any apprehensions, Garima? Because it is a sport which is basically belonging to males for generations altogether. And you did break away from the norm, right?
Lots of apprehensions, Maya, lots of them, because first of all, it was a completely unknown new territory for me. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
had nobody, from my friends or family, from whom I'd heard about this. So, no, and there were hardly any mentors, hardly any women, in the motorsports arena. So, I so hardly any there were no mentors, so I didn't even know, I mean, if this is what I should continue doing. So there were a lot of apprehensions. This is very, very also costly. You end up
Mm-hmm.
a lot of financial backing you require, and to prepare the maximum expenses in the preparation of the car, and then when you kind of drive it, then there's a lot of breakages that happen, maintenance of the car, the service of the car. So that's the part where a lot of expenses happen. Yeah,
It
so
must
it
have
was
actually burnt a hole in your pocket.
totally. Actually, तो वो बोलते ना, like I was actually doing a full-time job, and मेरा जो उसके मतलब I was also running my house, my this thing, but जो भी savings होते थे ना, I would,
Mm-hmm.
instead of buying, sandals or shoes or bags for myself, or, I would just save them buying tires, buy new
That's
gear,
a big thing, you know. That's a
stuff.
big thing.
So, I mean, it has been a very different journey actually, but so it has been slow and steady. That's how, I mean, it's been quite a while. It's been almost more than a decade, around a decade that I started, that this rally journey, this motorsports journey of mine. So yeah, a lot of it was absolutely very, very challenging, and also, I was just a normal driver. I had not, since I started very late in life. I mean, generally, koi sports mein koi, somebody gets into a sport, it's like a very, very young age, and then you get
Yeah.
trained, and
Mm.
then, you hone your skills, and even your reflexes and everything is, top notch. I started running in my 30s. It was pretty late in life. So most of the time, people they end up retiring in the sport, generally. I
Mm.
started that time. But it has been an enduring one. This journey has been really amazing. It's so I took training a lot. So whatever, how much ever, I could do in this sport, I did.
So, what do
Yeah.
you think? Is it physical strength which is more important here, or mental strength?
Mental strength, absolutely, but physical fitness is also very important. You need to have good fitness. It's important to be very active and exercise regularly, and then but mental fitness is definitely more matter, is more important. Resilience is very important. Meditation helps so much. So, concentration. So, a lot of faculties, like you need to have a good eyesight to be able to, whatever you're seeing,
Yeah.
you have to assimilate, and you have to be a good observer, and your reflexes have to be good. You should be able to anticipate also, well, what's going to come next, the distance,
Mhm.
so a lot of things are there. So definitely, and resilience and fearlessness, these are other I think qualities that
Nuts and
are
bolts. Yeah.
yeah, 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 definitely. besides training and upskilling yourself.
So married at 18 again, at quite an early age. Was it by choice? And what about your ambition? Were you ambitious at that time to do something different in your life rather than getting married and have a normal life?
Absolutely, yeah. I never wanted to get married so early in life, but my circumstances were such that I had no choice. I was not given any choice. As I mentioned, I belong to a traditional old conservative family. So yeah, I was also a good student, so I had big aims. I wanted to, get into IS and IFS, a foreign service, and IS or maybe IPS. Something. I actually had big dreams, and my dad only had. I remember had inculcated those dreams. He was used. I was very close to him, so he would tell me कि तुम मेरी बुढ़ापे की लाठी बनना and all that stuff. But then he wasn't keeping well, and circumstances were like that I had just no choice, and I mean, like no choice at all to say even to even choose my partner. I had no choice. I mean, so
Okay,
absolutely, yeah. No choice no say at all, yeah, in this.
that's quite surprising.
It is.
And
So,
how?
what happens, Maya? I think they, parents, they had done their due diligence. They had, but I mean, nobody, but then everybody, they wanted me to be happy. They wanted the best thing, for me to happen. And, but I think that's all. I think destiny also sometimes it doesn't work out, or it's just unfortunate. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I definitely would have liked to study more, but I did finish my graduation after my marriage. But
Okay.
yeah, after my marriage, I didn't. I never went to college though, because I was not I was not allowed to go to college. It was a co-ed just across my house where I was married. I remember. I got married after my 12th, and but I finished my college, my graduation, and then I also did additional BA in classical vocal music. So I definitely finished my graduation. That I was very very particular about. कि वो तो करना ही है, I don't. But the point is, I never got to see college life or experience college life.
I can totally relate to that. I did have a college life, but as far as I was in a college where it was not a co-ed. And
Okay.
the moment when I moved on to post-graduation level, and it was a college that that gave me that subject choice. It was a co-ed college, so I had to, if I wanted to be a
Okay.
non-collegiate and study further.
Okay.
But see, life has certain things in stock for us that keep coming bit by bit, day by day, and we realize that what life has planned for us is way better, way more beautiful. Because where I see you today, that comes no
Totally.
less.
I don't believe it myself. That what if I see Garima, even like 20 years back, 10 years back, 20 years, I was totally, it was a different Garima. And today, what I'm sitting here is I've shed so many tears, as you mentioned in that beautiful poetry of yours. I've shed so many tears. I have learned so much, evolved so much.
And I think that's where comes the quality of the seeds that are sown in the childhood. And
Yeah.
they do come to flowering later or sooner, because that internal discipline that your father imbibed in you by telling you that you needed to develop things like introspection and meditation and be happy with your own self, be happy with the limits that you had or the heights that you were able to achieve. So those are the things that, besides everything else going odd in your life, somewhere keeps you gratified. And
Totally. I'm a person who believes a lot in gratitude. I feel there are so many blessings that we have, and God has been so kind to me. There has been so much of God's grace on me. So, matlab, and so many people have stood by me, helped me on my way, my journey. I'm grateful to each one of them, in every part of my life, from, when I was in every part, I mean, from childhood to when I was married, when I was, coming out of it, and even later. So I'm really grateful for, God sent angels, and who have stood by me like a rock. So so gratitude, I think, has been, it's a very important value
Yes.
to have. And I think, in fact, I very much believe in this. I had read it somewhere. I had this gratitude rock with me. I have kept it in my washroom, actually. So every time when I get up in the morning and when I go, to the washroom, and whenever I touch the rock, I'm supposed to be grateful. It's just a reminder to thank God for the blessings that you have.
So
So many
beautiful.
times, yeah. So many times we only think about what we don't have, and we forget to thank God, and for what we have. So much God has been so kind. I mean, there's so much of abundance. So I mean, at least I have a house. I'm sitting under a roof. I'm there's, I mean, team number. I'm talking about, like, base. Base. At least I'm healthy. And, there's everything is in health wise in one piece, and there's so much of things to be grateful for.
Yeah, that's the way I think we can be grateful to all, for all the things that we have, to Almighty and the Father above. And it may not be all the time grumbling about the things that, like it's said by a poet, Percy Bysshe Shelley, we
Acha.
pine for what is not.
Right.
We keep pining for what is not. And that should not be the attitude, I guess. Garima, how did the world fall apart, and who were the people that rooted for you at that time?
Right. So that's a little personal question. What do I say?
Well, if you
Um,
don't want to go into that, no problem.
yeah. So I think it was just very, very unfortunate. I was married in a good family. I will not say it. I have received a lot of love and affection and warmth, and but from my in-laws, they have been really, really nice to me. And but yeah, it was just unfortunate that things
Things didn't
didn't
work
work
out.
out. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So just
So, what
and
are the two ways when the world does fall apart? Whether to keep blaming your destiny or just move on, shake off the dirt and move on and get into the cycle of life once again.
yeah, yeah, totally. You know what I believe in, Maya? I think uh, once we become adults, we all are made up of our choices that we make in life. Uh,
True.
and, if you make that choice matlab, without any duress, obviously, matlab, without any pressure or something, then the responsibility of that choice is completely yours. The repercussions of that choice is your responsibility. I mean, then you cannot. I mean, in my case, when I decided to, come out of the marriage because of some things which I just didn't want to live with. So it was, just against my self-respect, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So I mean, I tried to work it out. It didn't work out. But you know what? I realized that whatever, but the decisions that I take in life, the responsibility, the choice that I make, the responsibility of the repercussions, everything is completely my responsibility. So I had no guilt. I never blamed anyone. So it's just, um, so life is like that. I think it's important to, just move on. So
So, Garima, we women are the born jugglers. So, at that time when you felt broken, it was a broken marriage, a broken heart, obviously. motherhood was there, the job was there, and this newly simmering passion inside you. So how did you manage all that? Kaise kiya?
So, first of all, Maya, when I came out of my marriage, my daughter was very, very young, and I had to fend for myself. So I had to take up a job. I had never ever, you know, I had no professional qualifications. I was just a normal graduate, and no experience at all. And coming from, I myself come from a business background. My family and all. Is well established. So I have no exposure or experience of working, taking up a job, like a proper job where, I with that money, I will be running my house. So it was quite a big thing for me. I so but I started working, and yeah, and this passion, this motorsports came to me like it was, I just did one rally, and I became very passionate about the sport. But mostly these rallies, and this happened on the weekends, because so I was able to manage my time. And um, and I was also, sincere and hardworking. So I would just finish my job, my work, and all, and take out time for. I was able to manage and kind of balance out everything. Yeah,
That's
and
commendable.
that's how it happened. Little slowly. It did not, the graph. I started very late in life, but also the graph was, the progression was a slow progression. It was. I was very lucky when I was picked up by when I joined Mahindra. I became part of Team Mahindra for their in the adventure, their rally. I became part of their team because the cream of the drivers were part of it. It was a very highly coveted team. So that, I think, really kickstarted my career and made so much of a difference. So and I learned so much, and took a lot of training after that. So I was able to manage it all, mostly because it happened during the weekend. So
So was this the very first big break that you had with Mahindra? And
yeah.
what did it further lead to?
So yeah, I mean, so I started with time, speed, distance format rallies. That's how I started my career, and then I got into extreme rallying. So extreme rallying is high speed rallying where you go all out. I mean, you drive very fast. That's like the fastest wins type. So that was the real where the guts, they say the guts, grit, and the the skills of the drivers are truly tested. And so I got into extreme rallying. At that time, I was on my own. I took training and I got into extreme rallying. And extreme rallying is more actually. Requires more funding than time speed distance format rallies, KSD rallies, actually, because the cars are they are rally prepared cars, so they they have to be of a certain regulation. They have to pass a certain regulation. The scrutiny they have to be passed. So all the FI norms and all have to be followed to prepare the car. Then you must have your safety gear that you wear, that I wear. So rally proof, safety gear. The helmets have to be FIA approved and all the stuff. So, a lot of in extreme rallying, a lot of preparation is required, and that's how it becomes little, like a little expensive sport. Um, yeah. So, but God has been kind. I was lucky. I got a few sponsorships here and there, and just managed it.
That's amazing. Would you like to share a few special moments, exhilarating ones, as well as those that somehow, somewhere dampened your spirits as well?
Oh, there have been so many actually. It's so many times we are not able to finish the rally. We end up having DND. DNDs did not finish.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so we go with so much of zest and preparation and all this stuff, and so many times we are not able to finish the rally because of some mechanical failure in the car, or some unfortunate events like that. I remember in one of the Desert Storm rallies, in one of the stages, the air filter of the car got choked, so my engine seized, so I couldn't finish that. There's so many incidents, rallies where you know the gearbox broke. So and there was not a spare one. I didn't have a spare gearbox, so I couldn't finish the rally. I remember once I was just short of the finish line, and the front left tire just came off.
Oh my God.
Because there was some issue with the size of the rim, and so there was, because of that. So a lot of such incidences happen with all of us all the time, where we are not able to even finish the rally, and we just go there and come back. That's all. So there's we don't even receive a certificate of participation.
So I think these are the better scars you have had, huh?
Absolutely. So, but
And what did they teach you?
a lot of things. Rally has taught so many things. The best is never to give up. If you have whatever dream you have, if you're passionate about something, just keep on working towards it, and upskilling yourself, and keep on it's perseverance actually is the key word.
Yes, that's the key.
So that's the key. That is what I've learned from these setbacks and all that keep happening, that not to give up and be always hopeful. You always hope for the best, and enjoy
what
the ride.
matters the most. These are the values that matter the most.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, what happens when you are racing, when you are in the car, and you are very much in that zone. You want to give your best. At that time, nothing matters. You just you're very hopeful that you will give your best to it, and and you just have to. The best part is not to feel very stressed about the competition you are in, and to enjoy the most. If you're going to have fun and not be stressed about what the outcome is going to be, the most important thing is enjoy the journey and not bother about the outcome. So you will end up doing well. If I'll be very stressed about I have to beat this person, I have to this person is driving like this, and he or she is a better driver or better car or whatever. So I think the best is when you sit in the driver's seat, the race is about to start, you just go there and have fun.
That reminds me of yours having referred to Bhagavad Gita somewhere in your TED talk, I think, means where you talk about shedding off your layers and this karmanya vadhikaraste. You do your best, you put in your best. If you keep remaining anxious about the outcome, so half of your energy is drained right there.
Yeah, totally. So I think journey is so important. To enjoy the journey.
Yeah,
and
the journey that is more important.
Absolutely, because everybody's definition of success is different. What success may mean to me may mean something else to you. So I think what is important is what you become with the entire process, with the entire journey. And I still remember, I'd read in this book long time. I don't remember which book. So there was this person he was looking for happiness, and he says, I want the recipe for happiness. So he goes, I'm cutting it short, मैं एकदम short में आपको बता रही हूँ, मतलब I'll tell you the crux of the whole thing. So he goes to this fort, में he finds the saint. So and the saint is living in a fort, वहाँ पे all riches are there and all good things are there. So the saint gives the guy a spoonful of इसमें oil होता है, and he tells the person कि आप इसको पूरा fort में घूम के आओ, and don't even drop उसको आप drop मत करना oil को. तो आप वापस आओगे, then I'll tell you the secret of happiness. So when he goes, that guy, वो पूरी सब जगह जाते, there's such beauty and beautiful nature, sunset, and lakes, rivers, and सब कुछ. But you know what? He's absolutely bothered about that oil. वो बस जाके वो पूरा जाके आके, and then the saint के पास आके वो पूछते हैं, saint आपने क्या देखा? When he comes back with a spoon full of oil. तो बोलते कि मैंने तो कुछ भी नहीं देखा, because मेरा तो focus सारा इधर ही था. So then he says कि भाई, happiness is the journey. Actually, you must enjoy the journey of whatever your goal is, but never forget to enjoy the journey. So that is true happiness.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, and it does bring home the point that the entire happiness lies in the journey.
Yeah. Suddenly, I just remembered.
So, Garima, does being a woman hinder your growth anywhere in any way? And what has been the male reaction to have you as a peer at the motorsports?
My peers have been extremely supportive. I have never ever felt any kind of hindrance because it's a man's sport. They have been very, very supportive, and in fact, being a woman in the motorsport, we have set a mark for ourselves. Though men have been so they have also won so many trophies. They have won championships. I don't think so. I have won like a major championship or something. I must have won so many. I have won a lot of trophies and all. I'm not saying that. I have won in my category. But men out there have actually, they deserve the accolades. They have really. But as women, we have definitely benefited and shown and made a mark for themselves. And just because we are women, so I'm privileged to be a woman, actually, frankly. So, and there has been no discrimination as such, not majorly that I have felt. It's just like sometimes they don't take you seriously unless you prove yourself on the track. So you have to definitely, but I think that's with everyone. I mean, you have to upskill yourself and prove yourself, your performance on
how it should be.
Yes.
It should be all about merit. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all about merit, and motorsport is one sport but that is the only sport actually in the world, like one of the sports where you compete against the men on an equal platform. So I mean, so that's how it's been a great journey for me as such. I have not any hindrances because it's a man's sport or something like that.
That's fortunate. Yeah. So have there been any rocky terrains, both physical and metaphorical, and what have they taught you?
Rocky terrains, lots. I mean, lots. As in a rally, we drive in all kinds of terrain actually. So many international rally championships, like there's a gravel track, we drive on tarmac. There's a storm happens on in the sand. Then we raid the Himalayas, and Mughal rally. They happen in the hills, and Sajoba rally happen in the hills. So all kind of terrains. and yeah, you learn so much. Every terrain teaches you something different about how you deal with it. I think you learn so much about, every different circumstance teach you differently. So it's about that. So every terrain has taught me how to deal with that situation in a different manner.
There are different terrains in our life as well, and this is what I refer to as metaphorical terrains
Right.
that we come across,
Yeah,
and how do we
absolutely.
learn out of them? Because the experience varies from one to the other, and the
Absolutely.
learnings that we have also vary from one to the other. But
Exactly. I
giving
met
up
that.
is never a choice, and it should never be a choice.
Totally agree with you.
So, Garima, I got to know this theory you believe in, that shedding layers of one at a time and finding your true self. So, have you been able to find your true self, or you still are enjoying that journey?
You know, that's that's a very very difficult question to answer. I mean, one doesn't know. I mean, there's so much to learn all the time. There's so much to evolve, and there's so many fears. In fact, there is so many layers I've shed, but I think there's still more. I mean, um, there's still so much more to learn. In fact, okay, so professionally it's different, even with relationship wise, personally it's also a big, there's so much to learn and so many layers to be shared there
Hmm.
also. Professionally, as I said, it's good to keep on so learning and upskilling yourself. So I uh, last year and even before that, so twice I have I went to London and Dubai. I took training in drifting, so I want to learn the advanced driving techniques, because I would see my peers, some of the drivers driving, doing donuts. I would be so fascinated by that, and I just wanted to also learn that skill, donuts, drifting, the art of driving sideways, where you deliberately put the car out of balance, oversteer it and then put it get it back in balance. So drifting, so it's been a challenge also. It's not that easy, because
Indeed.
you I need to practice. I don't have a drift car as of now. I have taken training, and then the lockdown happened. In March 2020, end of beginning of March, I think end of February, I think I went to London. So, and then the lockdown happened. So I'm yet to prepare. I'm in the process of preparing a drift car for myself so that I can practice. So it's a never ever learning process, because it's very scary to drift. But in a sense, can be. I remember when I was taking my lessons, I was on the track, learning drifting. I was just not getting it. It's not easy to, you get so scared, in the car. What would happen if the car topples, and if I hit there are side way walls, or there was pole there or something. So you have a lot of definitely fears and scares that you have to overcome all the time. And as I said, I started so late in life, so there's so many layers and things to learn and evolve. Still, I mean, this process will keep on going. I'm still in the journey, I think, not yet
Yeah.
reached.
I think this is the ample proof that I am wise enough to decide that I'm still in the journey. Because once I decide that I have known myself and all the layers have been shed off, and I am the thing itself, and I have been able to realize it, so that can happen under the Bodhi tree only. In real life, I think we should always go on, and we should never be able to reach that point where we feel like we have perfected ourselves, because a little imperfection always gives you a hope to move forward to the next motto of yours.
Absolutely, absolutely, totally. There has been, in fact, in motorsports, I have also been working towards doing freelance journalism and projects related to that. There's so much. I mean, there's so much to learn about cars. In fact, I recently did a course from the Automobile ASDC, the Skill Development Council. There was an online course for honing your skills as a mechanic, a car mechanic. Because I really enjoy, learning about how the car behaves, how the engine works, and what all needs to be done. So there's so much to learn. So it's.
Once you have got the hack of it, please let me know certain ways how to find out the mood of my car as well, because it often gets online now.
Sure.
So Garima, this societal judgment and that stigma of being a single mom must have been overwhelming at times. So how did you overcome this?
Yeah, I have. In fact, what happened when initially, I remember in the initial few years when I was single, it was people, they judge you, they have a lot of questions that what happened, why it happened. I mean, there's there's so lot of judgments that a person can have, and apprehensions. When I'm in a new city, so I'm from Bareilly. I got married in Nagpur, and then I shifted to Delhi, and it was a completely new city for me. So new friends. So obviously, definitely, a lot of it was not an easy journey for me at all. I realized also that I have, what happens, no matter what you say, it is a patriarchal society. We, we are becoming more, kind of that way. What do I say? Things are changing. Definitely. But I remember when I became single, I had lost my identity. Initially I was known by my father, then my husband, and then when I became single, I don't have a brother. My father had passed away, so I was just Garima Avtar, who Garima Avtar. And then I realized that there was a very strong urge, very very strong urge, to do something, in life, to create your own identity, to achieve something, so that I also, I feel, better about myself, kind of with respect to my achievements, or maybe that the dreams that I had in my childhood, I thought maybe that I always wanted to do something extraordinary in my life. So I think that that desire was there, and I kind of, when I got into rallying, I thought, okay, let me do one more, and then I did one more, and then I thought, wow, I'm loving this, and this is, I could just relate to the sport so much because of, it would bring those memories of my dad and me, and
that was the driving force behind the driving force.
Yeah, so I felt very connected with the sport because of my dad, because of the adventure thing and all that. So I think I just then just went ahead with that.
See, whatever you might have undergone, we do congratulate you on, means boldly having reached, having claimed, having asserted your dreams, and not only asserting them, but also trying your best, putting in your best to achieve them in this lifetime.
Thank you so much, Maya.
Heartfelt appreciation coming your way.
Thank you so much.
And how did this turning point come from being too shy a person to speak in the friends company as well, and then becoming a TED speaker? How did this happen?
So sometimes when we get opportunities and all in life, you want to just take them up and try a new side. That was a new side of me which I discovered. I have always been a shy speaker, so I never imagined that I would, kind of give talks and all. I'll get invited to give talks, or all that. This kind of recognition, I had not imagined at all. So yeah, I mean, definitely, this was another layer that I shed, and this was another fear which I overcame actually of public speaking, and so it just I think it just happens. I mean, if you just make up your mind, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is um, I mean, I don't know. I just overcame it because I was very determined that this is what I want to do.
This reminds me of that डर के आगे जीत है, huh? The fears that you have, the inhibitions that you have, once you start working on them, brick by brick, it does result into good things. And you do move out of that security zone of yours, the comfort zone of yours, and you embrace something that you might not have imagined yourself. And talking about this side of yours, I am yet reminded of one more side of yours at the end of the interview. And you know what am I hinting at. So let me tell my audience that besides being such a creative person in all the arenas of life and embracing whatever came her way with that feel of gratitude, she had been trained in Sufi music as well. So there is a little request for just a little piece of song for the audience and me.
I am little out of practice, Maya. I have not been doing my riyaz, diligently. I'm very poor. I'm a poor student of music. But okay, just bear with me if if I'm not that good, or But okay, let me try and sing 2 lines for you. This is a song which from this movie Gaman, and it's sung by my teacher Chaya Ganguly. Chaya auntie she is a very renowned ghazal singer. She's won a national award for this movie Gaman. So this is the song from her movie. आपकी याद आती रही रात भर, आपकी याद आती रही रात भर, चश्मे नम मुस्कुराती रही रात भर, आपकी याद आती रही रात भर, दर्द की शम्मा जलती रही रात भर, दर्द की शम्मा जलती रही, गम की लौ थरथराती रही रात भर, गम की लौ थरथराती रही रात भर, आपकी याद आती रही.
This is amazing. I didn't have to bear with it. I just loved it to bit. And this song, the particular song that you chose, the lyrics and that poise, that softness, and the way it soothes your soul, it was amazing.
Thank you so much.
So, Garima, you have been wearing all these hats with such splendor, such grace, and such simplicity, and such humility above all.
you so much. Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you to say these words. I would just thank you very much.
I once again thank the person who connected me to you, and I agree that you are a friend for lifetime. You have been a wonderful person inside out, and I think my audience must have been very happy that I brought this gem to them with a heart of gold. Thank you so much, Garima, for being with us, for bearing with us.
The pleasure has been totally mine, and you're such an amazing person also. I'm so happy to connect with you.
Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Bye.